Auto Glass Perfection is a proud sponsor of the Arizona Lacrosse League. From stone chip repair, glass replacement, to commercial fleet auto glass services, Auto Glass Perfection will meet and exceed your satisfaction. Plus, they accept all types of auto insurance. For more, go to agperfection.com. Reserve your next sporting event today with APM Video Sports. Call 623-936-5585 or go to our website at apmvideo.com. Our athlete recruitment films have paved the way to over $35 million in scholarship offers. APN is Arizona's leader in sports video coverage. The 2015 Arizona Lacrosse League is on the air. It's our game of the week. The much-anticipated matchup between the Brophy Broncos and the Desert Vista Thunder, a pair of undefeated teams, and both these teams have met in the last two Arizona Lacrosse League state championships. I'm Jeff Lowry, APM Video Sports. Great night for Arizona lacrosse action. Temperatures in the low 80s. You're looking at the Broncos coming in here, 10 wins, no losses, led by Anthony Ionetti, number 12. And this is a team having a tremendous season under their head coach, Bo Pick, in his 7th year, and already the all-time winningest coach in ALL history. The Desert Vista Thunder, of course, defending champions, riding a 27-game win streak after an undefeated season a year ago. Colin Smith, their goalie this year, number 23, one of the top defenders, Chris Loken, and Rafael Vargas, truly one of the primary weapons here in Arizona. McLaughlin, a guy that does all the intangibles for this team. And Desert Vista, of course, riding high off that championship. They have outscored their opponents this year 153-41. It's senior night here at Desert Vista High School. Of course, they're led by the All-American Cade Van Raphorst, number 4. Hoping to have a big night for Dan Lannon in his 7th year, 81-23. He won 3 national titles as a player for the Syracuse Orangemen. And when we come back, it'll be Brophy and Desert Vista vying for that number 1 seed. The excitement of Arizona high school lacrosse is addictive. The Arizona Lacrosse League invites you to watch, support, and play lacrosse. It's one of the fastest growing sports, and the action and excitement will keep you coming back. To join a team in your area or to find out about a game in your area, go to ArizonaLacrosseLeague.com. Auto Glass Perfection is locally owned and operated and a proud sponsor of the Arizona Lacrosse League. For over 15 years, Auto Glass Perfection's passion is glass. Their focus is on your satisfaction and safety. Call 602-953-7876, or you can go to their website for more at agperfection.com. Well, the much-anticipated Brophy Desert Vista game is here. The two teams at midfield as we get set to start this one. The 2 men in goal, Brophy with senior Brad Keenan, number 5, and number 12 is Colin Smith. For the Desert Vista Thunder, they two will meet at midfield and then take their position in front of the cage. And we are ready to go. The opening face-off, our Arizona Lacrosse League game of the week. And the most anticipated game on the schedule, Desert Vista defending champions, riding a 27-game win streak coming in. Brophy is 10-0. So they battle for the face-off, and this game is underway. It's Brophy, Desert Vista on APM Video Sports. Kukulis. And taps it to his teammate, and DV wins the opening face-off. They'll get it into the box, and we're underway. Dan Lannon, the head coach of Desert Vista in his 7th year. They're going to get the first shot of the game, and it's going to be wide. Well, look for Max Jensen. He'll be going to Colorado Mesa University after graduation, coming in with 31 points this year on the strength of 23 goals. Desert Vista has not lost since they were eliminated in the 2013 Arizona Lacrosse League state championship game by this Brophy Broncos team at Chaparral High School. 6-5. That was back in May of 2013. Winners of 27 straight wins. Shot taken, big left, backed up by Vargas. No score here in the first. Vargas working out of X, going up against Frakes, who has really become one of the top defensive players, one of the great poles in this state. Good defense by Brophy and an impressive save by Brad Keenan. Tremendous job by Adam Bratz, even though the shot was taken. And now Brophy will settle into their first 6-on-6 and their first possession of the contest. So 3 shots on goal on that possession by Desert Vista, but they come up empty-handed. Brophy is led by their 7th-year head coach, Bo Pick. He is assisted by Zach Widman and Kevin O'Connor. Brophy coming off a 13-4 win Wednesday night at the hands of the South Point Lancers. They have a tough game here tonight against one of the great all-time teams in Arizona history, the Desert Vista Thunder. They then will have Sabino on Saturday at home, and then they will close off early next week against Mountain Point. Or check that, they will have Sabino in their next game. That'll be on Wednesday of this week, and then they'll close out next Saturday against Mountain Point. Desert Vista is coming off a 12-5 victory over Gilbert. And what a season they have had. Here's Turner. Turner, one of their top players this year. He had it taken away for a moment. They battle for this 50-50 ball, and a big ground ball by a young man who is heading to Duke University next year, and Cade Van Raphorst, who was an All-American last year, but tenaciousness by Paul pried it loose. But somehow Van Raphorst, one of the strongest lacrosse players you will ever see, was able to corral it. And Desert Vista settling into their second possession of the game. We are scoreless here in the first. Jeff Lowry with you from APM Video Sports. So glad you could join us. It's a great night. Temperatures in the 80s. It's a beautiful night for lacrosse. Here's the dodge. Good defense out front by John Ducey. And now they'll work it over and going up against McNeil. He'll swim through part of the defense, still with the possession. Quickly get it over to the left-handed wing. And now to Vargas out of X. And Vargas had it stripped away. Fine defense from behind. Mark Frakes broke that one up. 0-0 tie here in the first. And one of the things, and obviously when you're watching the professional ranks and Division I competition, announcers will talk about all the injuries, all the keys. And one thing we try not to stress too much on is those players that are out. We don't want to draw too much attention to that, but obviously Desert Vista, as Brophy comes in here pretty much healthy, pretty much 100%, but Desert Vista is without their leading scorer, one of the all-time great leading scorers in league history, in Steven Votto, and his 52 points. He did something to his hand, and they're hoping that he will be back in time for the playoffs, or at least in time for the semifinals. And also defenseman Franklin Kennedy is out for Desert Vista. Frakes with a good takeaway, but can Brophy corral it? Ionetti got into the mix. It's out of play. And it's going to be Desert Vista possession. So we will see, and so far Desert Vista has had some shots on goal here in the early stages, but they've not been able to put one into the back of the cage, and they're trying to make some adjustments without Votto in there as Vargas is playing in X. Crease violation. Well, I'll tell you, Rafael Vargas, a tremendous player. He and Votto both with over 50 points this year. Then you got Ryan Kukulis, who is a tremendous athlete, has a big right-handed shot, tremendous quickness, plays that midfield to perfection, and he has 45. Brophy I think more of a defensive team than they have in the past years, but they're led by Alex Paul, who has had an outstanding even though he started as a sophomore, got some playing time as a freshman, but Alex Paul is their leading scorer coming in, but they're balanced beyond that. I mean, John Turner, McNeil, you got Malkoff, all right around the same amount of points this year. So, you've got some heavy scorers on this Desert Vista team. They've got 4 players with 30 or more points. Well, Brophy only has 1 player, and that's Alex Paul with 32 points over the 30-point mark. And both teams have played 9 games this year, just to give you some perspective on what that means. So, Alex Paul averaging about a little more than 3.5 points a game as the leading scorer for Brophy. We are scoreless. The Brophy Broncos, 5-time state champions, shot taken, no good. And that was Vargas, who has moved back over there. And we are halfway through this opening quarter of play. Broncos with 5 state championships. Their last was, as we mentioned earlier, in 2013 against Desert Vista. Shot taken, no good. And I'll tell you what, Keenan is doing an outstanding job in goal here for Brophy. And you're seeing some pretty good crease defense here by the Brophy Broncos, led by Frakes and Ianetti. And also number 27, Luke Van Ribbeck. 0-0 tie, 5.5 on the clock. Desert Vista has definitely won the time of possession so far, and they've had 6 shots on goal, but they cannot crack the barrier that Brad Keenan has put up there in front of the cage, and there's another missed shot. That one sailed well over the crossbar. Scoreless tie here in the first. Here's the dodge coming from goal line extended right. And not sure, I didn't see the call there, but it's a turnover. And now Brophy, and a wild pass by Keenan. You don't see that very often. This is a very disciplined young man in Brad Keenan. And so Desert Vista takes advantage of it. Then Macy, number 40. Boy, this team's got a lot of talent. But one of the problems that Desert Vista is going to have is they look to win their 2nd straight title this year. That's their only goal. Keenan comes up with the loose ball and corrals it, and now Brophy with a chance to get something going here. Let's see if they can get a good build-up here, good ride out of their own half. Desert Vista has been in the last 2 state championships. They have won 2 titles in their club history. You got to go back to 2000, and of course last year in their undefeated 18-0 season. Brophy with a chance. Good job by McLaughlin. Excellent play there by a young man who's looking to play at ASU, but then, well, it was Alex Paul who took it away near midfield, and now Brophy will settle in. 0-0 tie. We're in the first period of play. Brophy with championships. Their first came in 2007. They repeated 2007, 2008. They won again in 2009. Or check that, 2010. They lost in 09. Lost in 11. Won back-to-back in 12 and 13. And, of course, last year lost 10-2 to this Desert Vista team over at Arcadia High School. Well, an unforced error there, but fortunately a good backup there, and one of the poles came up with the ground ball. And offsides against the Brophy Broncos. 0-0 tie. We're coming to you from Desert Vista High School. Tempe, Arizona, home of the Desert Vista Thunder. Football team won the state championship under Dan Hines in 2011 when they beat the heavily favored Hamilton Huskies that year and beat them convincingly. Kukulis, a dynamic player, no question about it. Wanting to dodge, he will shoot, and he will be turned away as that ball went down the shirt of Keenan. And hopefully he's going to be all right. So that keeps it at a scoreless tie. They have had 9 shots on goal in this first quarter and have yet to find the back of the cage. Brophy, good build up here, Van Ribbeck. Gets it into the box, and now they'll set it up. Get over to Joe Van Ribbeck. So Joe is 29 for Brophy in the all-black uniform. Here's a left-handed shot, and it's going to be a little wide. It was deflected by Colin Smith, or at least it looked like it, and that keeps the score at 0-0. First quarter action. Joe Van Ribbing, number 29. Of course, 27, his brother Luke Van Ribbing. Both players doing an excellent job this year for this Brophy team. That's a save. Colin Smith, excellent job. Lead pass, and here's the ride out of their own half. And now the buildup. Here's Desert Vista, but they drop the ball and take the shot anyway as Jaden Chandran had a tough time corralling it. And Keenan, and this is going to be Desert Vista's ball as they lose it out of play. Good hustle by Rafael Vargas. Out the, I believe that was Rose. Yep. Tough picking up of these numbers here for Desert Vista. Thunder coming out in that beach color wear and the dark gray. Actually, they've always been kind of the modeled after Notre Dame's colors, at least the rest of the teams here at Desert Vista High School. You're watching Arizona Lacrosse League action. This is high school lacrosse, and this is the two finest teams in the state. Brophy, who has been in the state championship game in the last 8 seasons. They've won 5, lost 3. Desert Vista has been there the last 2 years, losing 6-5 in 2013 as Vargas switches hands and finds the promised land. With 1:04 left to go, he breaks the ice. And the Thunder lead it 1-0. That was impressive.
Goal scored by number 21, Rafael Vargas.
Desert Vista wins only the second face-off here in this quarter. So a nice job on the ground ball, getting it into the offensive half, and now just under a minute left to play. Desert Vista settling in. Daniel Stepp, number 17, playing catch over there with Vargas, and now up top, Kyle Kerner having a fine year with 15 points this year. 9 goals, 6 assists. Inside a half a minute. And another knockaway, not a takeaway. And a good job by the defense. Nick Shine, I believe that was Nick Shine back there that broke that one up. So Keenan. And now Brophy on the buildup, but look out from behind. And a fine play there. Desert Vista. And that was Kukulis, and somehow Van Rapport saved it, but there's the horn ending period number 1. A defensive Titanic struggle in quarter number 1. Desert Vista on a Vargas goal leads it 1-0. The second quarter is coming up next. And you're watching APN in our Encore Gamecast. Auto Glass Perfection is a proud sponsor of the Arizona Lacrosse League. From stone chip repair, glass replacement, to commercial fleet auto glass services, Auto Glass Perfection will meet and exceed your satisfaction. Plus, they accept all types of auto insurance. For more, go to agperfection.com. Jeff Lowry back here. Welcome to Desert Vista High School in our Arizona Lacrosse League Game of the Week. Third face-off of the game. Desert Vista got possession after the first 2. And Brophy will, they corralled it initially, but then Desert Vista comes out with it. So a nice job for the face-off specialist, Ben Callahan, who dodges and then dishes it off. And Desert Vista bolts out to a 2-0 lead as Callahan finds Stepp. Daniel Stepp just came out of nowhere, flashed the crease area, and Callahan, a great job. I mean, he wins the face-off initially and then had the wherewithal as he's dodging to look to his right and just a subtle pass, and it was perfect. 2-0 Desert Vista. Good battle there for Brophy, and you can see the frustration with Brophy down 2-0 from Adam Bratz. And Desert Vista continues to dominate, and they have now gained possession off the first 4 face-offs in this contest. They lead it 2-0 here in the second quarter. Step from Callahan at the 11:52 mark gave the Vista Thunder a 2-0 lead. Dan Lannon, the head coach of this Desert Vista team, I'll tell you what, there may not be a better lacrosse player in the state of Arizona than Dan Lannon. He played on Syracuse. Well, he played for Syracuse. Perhaps the most elite college team, Kukulis. And that one hit the left bar and went sailing out of bounds. Desert Vista will retain possession on the shot. Kukulis 22. But Lannon won 3 national titles according to the website. And he was the 2014 Coach of the Year. Head coach, the Desert Vista Thunder, assisted by Cody Wood, Eric Ho, Jeff Kuhn, and Harrison Crawford. And look at this big ground ball here by Kyle Kerner. He'll get it back to his goalie, Colin Smith, and they'll restart it. Long pass up to midfield. Nice job by John Ducey. Good effort over there by number 1. A couple of brother tandems on this team, including Ducey, Van Ribbeck. Traxler. So you got at least 3. Here in the second quarter, Desert Vista at home. Both teams 9-0. The impressive thing about Desert Vista this year, they haven't had a close game yet of all the in-state competition. That shot's good. Vargas with a big left. He had a big right earlier to score the game's first goal from way out. And we got a penalty on the play.
Correction, number 21, Rafael Vargas.
Going to get a cross check, and it's going to go against Mark Frakes, the senior pole for the Brophy Broncos, with 9:57 left to go. And here in the second quarter, Desert Vista with a 3-0 lead, trying to win their 5th face-off possession in 5 tries, and they just did. On an excellent ground ball by McLaughlin. And these guys, they don't mess around. When they get the ball, they're pushing it. And they're going to take a quick timeout.
Timeout.
Rafael Vargas has found the promised land twice, and Desert Vista leads it 3-0 here. This is a very important part of the game if you're the Brophy Broncos. If you're a Bronco fan, you know your team right now needs to put together at least a score or 2 before you allow another one to this Desert Vista team. This is the way they came out against all the top teams. Sabino fell behind 5-0 against them. Chaparral fell 5-0 against them earlier in the year. Here's a big right hand and a nice job by Brad Keenan. I believe he got a cross on that one, and it goes sailing out of play. But on the backup was Desert Vista. They lead 3-0 here in the second quarter. Inside of 9 minutes left to play. But this team, they're minus Votto. As the shot taken by Kukulis, and he whistles that one by the left ear of Brad Keenan, and Kukulis has his first goal of the contest at the 9:06 mark, and it is now 4-0, and that goal right there is monumental. And now Brophy looking at a big hill to climb right now, and they cannot win anything at face-off. Well, that has just been an Achilles heel in this game. Excellent job by Ben Callahan, who converted that face-off win 8 seconds into the second period into an assist to Step, giving Desert Vista a 2-0 lead 8 seconds in. Since then, they have scored twice. Vargas his second goal, and Kukulis for the first time. And this Desert Vista team, very physical on defense. I was getting ready to say, without Votto, I still think this team is the team to beat because of the strong quickness, the physicality they bring on the defensive side. I don't think this team has to score 10, 12 points a game to win in the playoffs. But they still have enough weapons to really hurt you. And one, Ryan Kukulis. Two, number 21, Rafael Vargas. Nice job by Keenan. Good save that time by the Brophy Broncos. And now walking the dog is Frakes, and he'll lead it up ahead. And here comes Brophy. Here's their opportunity to get back in it, and they throw it away. McLaughlin will restart it for Desert Vista. Long pass to the alley on the far side. Good defense over there by the Broncos and Nicholas Malkoff. Excellent job by number 34. Senior attackman. So Malkoff making his presence known with some authority over there. And he stays on. Checking in is Patrick McNeil. McNeil, their second leading scorer this year. Second in points, second in goals. And he is a very dangerous shooter. And I'll tell you what, I mean, Brophy, they spread their wealth, no question about it. And they're the second, I believe they are the second leading scoring team in the state. As Malkoff goes to work here. Nice pass. But a little bit better on the defense was Van Raphorst. Crowd wanted a slash and a late flag. Boy, the crowd's making calls now. Flag down and a free play here as Vargas looking to score, looking to dodge. He gives it up. Kukulis takes a fake and goes top shelf, and he's got it. Boy, I tell you what, if you're a betting man, you would have thought he would have taken the shot initially. He put on some kind of fake. I think he faked his own feet out, faked himself out of his own shoes. And a 1-minute cross check here coming up. Or excuse me, I should be a slash. And that's going against Brophy. So a man-up situation here, and it's 5-0. I'll tell you, every time Ryan Kukulis has been on APN, the young man has been something else. The game we did last year over at ASU West, they were playing a team from Oregon or Washington State, as Desert Vista wins their 7th consecutive face-off. And we're going to get a timeout. I mean, he put on a clinic. I mean, he put on some very creative moves. And, you know, if they were on lesser teams where they had a chance to shoot more, the sky's the limit for some of these guys like Patrick McNeil, Alex Paul. A lot of times they're scoring. Their numbers are down because they're playing on great teams. And there's more than one outstanding offensive player on their team. Wide open. Goal line extended left. And Keenan with a tremendous – actually, I think that was Ionetti who got in there and may have actually got his cross on that shot. Dangerous pass here. And Anthony did a great job of corralling it and then sending it over. I'll tell you, and we talk about Desert Vista's defense, and you can see just how swarming, how quick they really are. That's a dangerous pass. Not a good idea. And Brophy almost got that one to go. Thomas Dye. Excellent save by Colin Smith of Desert Vista, and now the buildup. Here they come. Kukulis. He'll take the shot and score. Ryan Kukulis with a hat trick. And he has scored the game's last 3 goals, and Desert Vista leads it 6-0. This is the 8th face-off of the game. And Desert Vista trying to win their 8th consecutive face-off. And they do. Bo Pick just does not have an answer in face-off X. And I think some of the people here are shocked at this score. Desert Vista 6, Brophy nothing. Brophy's defense was incredible in the first. They limited Desert Vista to only 1 goal, but here in the second, Desert Vista has had goals from Stepp, Vargas, and 3 by Kukulis, and they have bolted out to a 6-0 lead. Solid defense, but they're going to be flagged, and I believe that's going to go on Joe Van Rebbing. And Brophy will be in a man-down situation. For the second time, unnecessary roughness. So now Desert Vista. Man up, takes a shot. And a little high for 33 is Kyle Kerner. Good look. Late on the slide was Brophy. And Ben Macy, not one of the top 3 or 4 looks on offense for Desert Vista, but he's the one that scores it, and it is now 7-0 in favor of the Desert Vista Thunder here in the second with 4:18 left to go here in the half. After seeing Brophy, especially playing against a very tough Lawrenceville who came in here and beat everybody out of New Jersey, and a face-off win, Thomas Dye and the Broncos. Let's see if they can turn it around now. In the way Brophy has played of late, they had a pretty convincing win over, I think, not only a much improved Chaparral team, but I think Chaparral's one of the top 3 teams in the state now. You did not expect Brophy to come out down 7-0, especially with Votto and Kennedy, 2 key players both offensively and defensively for Desert Vista. And I think a lot of us are surprised here because Brophy, a much better team than this. But Desert Vista, take nothing away from them. They've come out. That first quarter kind of was getting a feel for the game. And here in the second, they have scored 6 unanswered goals. And they get another takeaway here. And what a job by McLaughlin. All right, let's see if Alex Paul can get the Broncos going here. He'll get it up to McNeil. McNeil races into the box. Dominant right hand, and he scores it. Nope, it's outside the crease, outside the net. So the Broncos came within inches of putting their first point on the board. And McLaughlin is doing all the intangibles here, but now has it broken up, and that's Van Rebbing with a nice job on the defensive side for Brophy. Good tenacious poke check on the far side, but Desert Vista, so many times they swarm to the ball. Dan Lannon has disciplined his team. If the ball carrier, there's always a teammate in the vicinity ready to pounce on it if he loses it. A very disciplined team and very physical, athletic, and they take another shot here, and it's outside the cage. So Brad Keenan, and knocked down, and I think that's a crease. Yep. 7-0, Desert Vista. Brophy with the possession. John Turner has been quiet. Turner is might be the best pure passer on this Brophy team. He will think pass as often as he would shooting. McNeil going with the left. And a nice job of shielding that time. Jaden Chandran just shielding the vision. And now out of X, Brophy with another opportunity, but just harassing defense out front. That's Van Raphorst, who might be the best athlete in the state of Arizona in lacrosse. Of course, his father, Jeff Van Raphorst, the Arizona State Sun Devil great quarterback. In fact, I think he was the last quarterback to lead them to a major bowl game Top shelf. Did he get it? No, it was off the bar, and it goes sailing out towards midfield. Vargas was looking for his third goal of the game. Kukulis trying to create. And that one hit somebody out front and went right into the face of the goalie, who quickly got it out there. Dylan Lawless now. And Brophy wisely calls a timeout. That's been a long first half for Bo Pick. 37 seconds left to go. Let's see if Brophy can free up McNeil or Turner here for a last-second goal and try to at least break the ice and take a smidgen of momentum into the locker room at halftime. Down to 20 seconds. Brophy, Van Ribbeck. Looking, wide open shot, and it's McNeil. McNeil scores here late. And Brophy now on the board and trailing 7-1. 24 seconds left to go. What did I say, 20 seconds? I think I meant to say 40 seconds. All right. Face-off advantage, Desert Vista 8, Brophy 1 so far. Broncos get this one. That's 2 in a row. Great look. Oh, my goodness. Colin Smith, are you kidding me? A tremendous save. And only seconds left to go in the first half. Brophy needs to take the shot. The long stick. And Thomas died, no good. And it's halftime. Bring out the band, it's halftime. Desert Vista 7, Brophy 1. You're watching the Arizona Lacrosse League on APN. The second half coming up after this. Jeff Lowry back here from Desert Vista Thunder Stadium. Well, there's no blurred lines in this game. It's been all clear. Desert Vista has dominated, and they lead it 7-1. They get the face-off win. Kukulis swimming through the defense. Now a backwards pass, and Desert Vista will settle in. Kukulis with 3 goals in the first half. Vargas had 2. Stepp had 1. Kerner had 1. And the lone goal for Brophy came with 24 seconds left to go in the first half. Patrick McNeil scoring to cut it to a 6-point deficit. So we're in the third period. Desert Vista 7, Brophy 1. I'm Jeff Lowry with APM Video Sports. For more on our services, go to apmvideo.com. Ryan Kukulis working his magic, trying to free himself up for a shot, but Frakes was there, and he broke it up nicely. Tremendous defense by Mark Frakes. And they push Van Raphorst out, but he was able to save it. Merely on the fact that he is probably the strongest player out there on the field. And he was able to keep his feet in bound and still had the wherewithal to get it to a teammate and save possession for Desert Vista. But now Desert Vista is probably going to go through what Brophy is going through this year. After this season, they are going to lose a majority of their top offense and defensive players like Loken, Van Raphorst, Votto, Vargas, Kukulis, and company. As Kukulis takes a shot, left that one wide left. 7-1 in favor of Desert Vista. Vargas. Good idea, but it's out of play. Yeah, good hustle play over there by Ryan. So next year's team will obviously be a more, I would say, more of a challenge for Dan Lannon because of the amount of personnel that he is going to lose due to graduation. Brophy with a chance here. Well, they've had a couple of good looks. John Ducey thought that was, if they can get a couple early goals here, they can get themselves back into this game. Remember, the first quarter, they held Desert Vista scoreless right up to the 1:04 mark when Vargas's goal was from way out top, straight away. He had to switch hands, a very difficult shot. So, really, you got to give Brophy credit. That first quarter of defense was outstanding. And they're going to need a quarter here of that same similar type defense as they take the shot here, and that's Alex Paul. But they need to score. They need to put up three or four unanswered goals here if there's any chance for them to come back into this game. This is the matchup everybody's been waiting for, and I kind of like the fact that they're not playing early in the season. Last year they played about midway through. Shot taken. Nice head fake and a big left. And John Turner is on the board on a McNeil assist at the 8:48 mark here in period number 3, and Brophy is within 5. Still a long ways to go, but that's a good start. 7-2 Desert Vista. So maybe Brophy can gain a little bit of confidence as Desert Vista gets yet another face-off win. Chandran bringing it into the offensive half. Out to Callahan. Over to Vargas. Picked up by Frakes. 8:30 on the clock. Over to Max Jensen heading to Colorado Mesa U. Well, we mentioned that number 4, Van Raphorst, heading to Duke on a lacrosse scholarship. Votto and Kukulis to Bellarmine. Or rather, Kukulis and Votto going to Bellarmine or Bellarmine. I'm not really sure how they pronounce that. Vargas is going to Essex College and McLaughlin to ASU. Now out of X. Here's Desert Vista. Shooting and denied. Oh, what a fantastic play by the Brophy goalie, who is now Mikhail Frabboni. Boy, I'll tell you, that was impressive. So I don't know if Brad Keenan is injured. Not sure what the situation is, but Frabboni is in. Now he wears number 28, and yes, folks, he is only a freshman. Brophy needing a ground ball and cannot get it after they broke that one up. So Desert Vista raking that ball up and gaining possession here. Vargas. Well, you look at the Poles and doing a good job. They're pushing out the offense there. Pressing that perimeter. We're going to have to keep doing that to keep this Desert Vista, these shots on goal. I mean, Desert Vista, even in that first quarter when they were limited to just one goal, they had quite a few shots on goal. I think 10 in all. 9 or 10. Vargas, good look. Great stick play. Dylan Lawless, number 13, saved a good. Well, it would have taken a tremendous save by Frabboni. And he's got another save. The freshman rising to the occasion for the Brophy Broncos. And now a long pass. And who wants the 50-50 ball here? Desert Vista saving it. Corralled nicely at midfield. Here's the buildup. Here's the shot. And the freshman denies him. Turned away on the shot by Max Jensen. Good job by number 28. And the score remains 7-2. We're just past the halfway point of period number 3. And you can see one of the Brophy coaches, I think Zach Wedman down here in the corner, or Kevin O'Connor, I didn't notice, telling them to push, get that ball upfield. Shot taken, and trying to bounce that one in was Alex Paul with the left hand. Good back up there. Nicholas Malkoff, one of the smart players out here on the field, looking to dodge out of X, but then triple teamed on that right wing. Paul trying to create, takes a shot, and turned away by Colin Smith. Brophy retains the possession. They restart it. Here's McNeil. Patrick has scored. He is an assist, and you can add another goal to his repertoire here tonight. And that's a huge one. That puts Brophy back in the game. It's now 7-3.
Goal scored.
I still think they need another unanswered goal here. 5:05 left to go. Here in period number 3, Brophy has scored 3 of the last 4 goals over the last 7 minutes of play, and they're doing a lot better on faceoffs. They've won 3 of the last 4, and they will control this one. Nicholas Shine. And I said, I think if Brophy is going to win state this year, I think Nicholas Shine has to shine. I really do. I think he's got to be one of those X-factor players for this Brophy team. I think he's that important. 4:50 on the clock. It was a wild second period. After Desert Vista went into the second period with a 1-0 lead, they reeled off 6 more goals unanswered, led 7-1 with 24 seconds left to go in the first half when Brophy's McNeil scored to make it 7-1 at the half. Brophy with a chance here, big left, no good. And Brophy, who has scored the first 2 goals to start period number 3, actually they've scored the last 3 goals. I said 3 out of 4 earlier. They have scored the last 3 goals, in all with McNeil. McNeil has 2 goals, 1 assist, and Turner has the other goal. And so a 7-3 lead for Desert Vista, who has not scored since the 4:18 mark in the second period. Brophy needs another one here, and they leave it high. And you go in there in the land of the Giants, and Gann and Kupfer, one of their top players, should be an all-star at the end of the season. Look at Van Raphorst out there. High screen. That was a moving screen. No call. And Dan Lannon is absolutely beside himself, and I really can't blame him. That was a terrible no call by the officials, who's done a great job here tonight. There is a flag down. Let's see what this is about. And Murphy's Law, it goes against Desert Vista. Wide. It looked like an open net. And look at Van Raphorst, the long stick defender. Made a very difficult play there in getting that ground ball in traffic. Desert Vista, one of the rare times that you'll see an unforced error by them, and maybe only the first or second time here tonight. 7-3, Brophy in desperate need of another goal here. They have trailed by as many as 7. But they have scored the last 3, and they turn it over here with some good Desert Vista defense and Ryan Kukulis. Ryan. Not afraid to shoot at any time. He's not afraid to give it up every time. I want to add Jim Snow as our public address announcer, doing an outstanding job here today. Longtime PA announcer for the Thunder football program. Nice job by 41 there for Desert Vista. It was at 40, Ben Macy. I think they have a 41. Shot taken, turned away, and we got to be impressed so far by Mikhail Fraboni, the freshman goalie. Been a tough nut to crack here in this third period since he came into the game. Desert Vista trailing 7-3 here. No teams at full strength. Desert Vista going into their possession-style offense, taking their time, got the shot. Looked like that might have hit one of the pipes. And look at Fraboni. Got some good length. Quick feet, no question about it, and that's an outstanding clear for him. Get it over to Luke Van Ribbeck. And now Brophy, again, they need to cut this thing to 3. They can't go back up or down by 5 here. They got to score again here. In fact, they may need to cut this to like a two-point game going into the 4th. They're playing with a little more confidence now, and thanks to this young man and Patrick McNeil. He's slicing. He's swimming through the defense. He shoots, and it was turned away by Colin Smith. Nice job. Whistle away from the ball. Cross check against Alex Paul. That really hurts. So now Desert Vista, if they score here, this would be monumental. And they're in the man up. 1 minute. Shot taken, score. Big left hand, and look who came out with the short stick. It's the defenseman, Cade Van Raphorst. Cade scoring his 9th point of the year. That's his 5th goal, and that comes with 11 seconds left to play. Face-off win, number 11 of 14 for Desert Vista. And it looked like they had the numbers coming on that build-up. That's the end of period number 3. We head to the 4th. It's number 1, Desert Vista, 8. Number 2, Brophy, 3. Arizona Lacrosse League will return in just a moment. Auto Glass Perfection is a proud sponsor of the Arizona Lacrosse League. From stone chip repair, glass replacement, to commercial fleet auto glass services, Auto Glass Perfection will meet and exceed your satisfaction. Plus, they accept all types of auto insurance. For more, go to agperfection.com. Bo Pick on the screen in the red shirt, head coach of this Brophy team, the first coach ever to win 100 career games in Arizona Lacrosse League history, but his team is trailing by 5 with 12 minutes left to play here in the 4th. Desert Vista 8, Brophy 3. Arizona Lacrosse League's Game of the Week, our encore gamecast on APN Sports. And the Broncos come up with a 4th quarter face-off victory to start things off. They've lost 11 of the 15 here tonight, and they will settle in. Let's see if Alex Paul can get things going here for the Brophy Broncos, who trail by 5. Trailed by as many as 7. In fact, Desert Vista scored the game's first 7 points. McNeil going to work. McNeil going around a defender. Switches to the right hand. Get it back to X. Brophy working out of X. Get it over to John Turner, who scored back at the 8:48 mark in the 3rd period. Now up top, Alex Paul. Back over to Turner. 11:13 on the clock. 8-3 lead, Desert Vista. Joe Ducey lost it. And who's got it? That's Desert Vista, and it was Colin Smith. What a game for Colin Smith, number 12. Came in, saved nearly 61% of the shots against. And here's Desert Vista. And they had the buildup. And Kukulis finds Max Jensen. Kukulis with his 4th point of the day. Jensen scoring for the first time. And it is now 9-3. And boy, that really hurts if you're on the Brophy side of the ledger. Broncos get another face-off win, number 5. Desert Vista 11 in that statistic. So 2 unanswered goals after Brophy got it back to within a 4-point deficit. Van Raphorst scored with 11 seconds with a short stick for the Vista Thunder to make it 8-3. Jensen got a great pass from Kukulis, who started the build-up back at midfield, raced into the attack box, and then unselfishly found Jensen goal line right extended. He came out in front of the crease and rifled it in there. And Desert Vista leads it 9-3. McLaughlin, well, he had a great first half. A lot of things that you just don't see on the score sheet at the end of the game. Now Ryan Kukulis switching directions. Tosses it over to Kerner. They'll work it over from the left-handed wing. Get it out to Kukulis. He's on the right-handed wing, but the short hop pass he couldn't corral. He'll get a support pass back and now looks to dodge. Going up against two defenders, John Ducey. Good defense there. Quick pass on the diagonal, and the shot is no good by Desert Vista, who leads it 9-3 here in the fourth. Stay with us. At the conclusion of this game, we'll have our APN Arizona Lacrosse League Big Play of the Week. And of course, we'll be talking to a member or two of the winning team. Right now, it looks like it's Desert Vista because they're up by 5 here in the fourth. Kukulis. I think he was trying to get it. Well, they did a nice job. That is such a tough pass to defend. But it's also a tough pass to execute because not only are you throwing it over your goal or the opponent's goal, but you're also got to get it over that big face of the goalie. And then you usually have a couple of defenders in the vicinity out in front of the crease. So it's a very tough play on both sides. It's tough to defend if you're the goalie because you have to have a head on a swivel. Nick Shine. Need more of that in this fourth quarter. And that kind of play can get some buildups here for the Brophy Broncos. Down to 8:30 left to go here in regulation. They've trailed by as many as 7 when Desert Vista reeled off the game's first 7 points. Good, solid defense over there on the far side. I'll tell you, a guy that's not getting too much credit here tonight, Chris Loken. He's the crease defender here tonight, and he's done a sensational job. Number 23 for Desert Vista, who forces another turnover, the takeaway, and this one belongs to Kyle Kerner. Desert Vista could probably put a nail in the coffin if they score here. But from Boney, the freshman steps up. He rises to the occasion and comes up with a big-time save. And he's looked good here in the second half.
Hey guys,
I think the defense has done an outstanding job overall for this Brophy team. Well, we got a flag down for Boney, one to clear it, and then throws it away. He's a little impatient there. There is a flag down. Let's see what this is all about. And this should be offsides. 7:28 left to go here in regulation. It's a 9-3 game. If Desert Vista holds on and wins, they will go to 10-0. And I've been given a note that they have won 27 games in a row. I think I said earlier they've won 28 in a row. They've won 27. This would be the 28th in a row if they hold on and win. Brophy with a chance, and they get the score. A nice two-man game there. John Turner hooking up with Joe Ducey. And that makes it a 9-4 ball game. So Brophy has not given up yet. And I would imagine a Bo Pick team is going to play 4 quarters no matter what the score is. And Brophy's going to get a face-off win. They have improved in that category immensely in this second half. They have won 6 of 8 after losing They lost the first 8. They had lost 8 before they got their first. So they've actually won 6 of the last 9 face-offs. But they've been extremely good here in the second half. Big right hand, running right hand, no good by Patrick McNeil, who has 3 points here tonight. 2 goals, 1 assist. Can the Broncos string a couple of goals here and get back into this game, or is Desert Vista's defense going to rise to the occasion? McNeil is doing his effort to get his team back in. Now out of X. Good look. These are good-looking shots by Brophy, but that Desert Vista defense continues to play strong. Halfway through the fourth period of play. We play 4 12-minute quarters. Desert Vista on a 27-game win streak. Taking another shot, big left hand, Alex Paul. I've seen Alex Paul go left and right. I want to say his dominant hand is his left hand. I forgot to ask about that before the game, but this Desert Vista team, I think after watching them against Sabino, I saw them early in the season. I saw them against Sabino. I saw them against Chaparral. And it's just an uphill climb for anybody who has to face this team. They just, for what they are bringing back from last year, and they lost the all-time leading scorer in league history in Abadessa. They lost perhaps one of the greatest face-off players in Lance Pavlina. Both players were All-Americans, along with Van Raphorst, who is on the team this year. And I don't know. This defense, to me, I think the defense is almost better this year than it was last year. It's hard to say. I think both. I think the 14 and the 15 teams are both great teams. You're minus Abadessa on that offensive side and Pavlina at faceoff, but they've been winning their faceoffs with Ben Callahan this year. And when he hasn't been winning faceoffs, it's been Nicholas Kaplan. And remember, Desert Vista tonight does not have their top scorer in Steven Votto. This is the third game that he has missed, and they're without really one of their top defenders in Franklin Kennedy, or at least that's what they told me. I don't know how long Kennedy, but Kennedy looks like he's been out 3 or 4 games too. We're in the fourth quarter, a 9-4 Desert Vista lead. They're in the light tops, the gray shorts, Brophy all black with the red trim. It was 1-0 after 1 period of play. Desert Vista scored 6 unanswered points in that second period, and look at this takeaway. A fabulous play by Bud Neff. And then he's going to get hit, and there's the flag, and probably sitting for a minute will be Patrick McNeil. Frustrating night for Patrick McNeil, even though he is the leading scorer for Brophy. 3:24 left to go. 9-4, and now a man-up situation here for the Desert Vista Thunder. They've converted on one man-up situation here tonight. Good ball rotation, the shot, the score. Vargas with a hat trick. His third goal of the evening. Vargas with 36 goals this year to go along with his 15 assists, and it's now 10-4. 3:08 left to go. And a reminder to stay with us at the conclusion of this game. We will have our Arizona Lacrosse League Big Play of the Week. Paul trying to create. Loken over there, doubling up. He slid over there to the alley to pick him up, and now Van Ribbeck. (10-4) Desert Vista, under 3 minutes left to play. Brophy will be at home their last 2 games. Anyone interested in coming out and seeing some of the best lacrosse players in the state? Going up against 2 very, very good teams this year. Sabino on Wednesday, and then they close out the regular season against Mountain Point. And we're inside of 2 minutes and a 6-point lead here for Desert Vista, who's on defense. Turner trying to free up that left hand. Well, I'm telling you, this Desert Vista defense, they have played 4 quarters, no question. Good look here, and what can you say about Colin Smith? He has made some phenomenal saves. Nice ride by Bud Neff. Timeout, Dan Lannon. Smart timeout. 10-4 lead Desert Vista. And we were talking about Brophy's last game against Mountain Point. That'll be over at Brophy Sports Complex Saturday afternoon. Game we'll have on APN Sports. It is not an Arizona Lacrosse League game of the week, but what a job by Mountain Point. They've had a couple of seasons back-to-back. They've done a nice job. They're having a very good season this year. Coach Noble over there, I think one of the top coaches in the state of Arizona. He's done a phenomenal job. And his team has had a big season. They've had wins over some very good teams this year. So, you know, obviously Brophy will have to come out with their A game going up against Mountain Point. Top 8 teams will go to the playoffs, and right now it looks like it's going to be Desert Vista. And quite honestly, probably Brophy number 2, Shap would be 3, and you're probably looking at Mountain Point possibly 4. And then you'll probably have Gilbert, Sabino, Sal Point, and I would say Notre Dame. So still a couple of games left. Notre Dame's final game is coming up against Gilbert. And that's going to be kind of a big win for both. That's a big game for both those teams. So got some good lacrosse. Go to the Arizona Lacrosse League website. Check out the schedule. Come on out. You can't beat the price of admission. I guarantee you. You cannot beat the price of admission at 95% of the games in the Arizona Lacrosse League.
25.
Kukulis trying to add on to that 10-4 lead. Again, special thanks to Auto Glass Perfection, our main sponsor of Arizona Lacrosse League High School Game of the Week here on APM Video Sports. McLaughlin continues to make plays as we wind down this game. And that's it. It's all over. And Desert Vista goes to 10-0 with a very, very impressive win over mighty Brophy. The final score, the Thunder 10, the Broncos 4. This has been a presentation of APN Sports. Let's send it down to the field. Time now for the Arizona Lacrosse League Big Play of the Week, powered by Auto Glass Perfection. On the left, Cade Van Raphorst. On the right, Ryan Kukulis, 2 of the stars in the Desert Vista big win over Brophy. Sole possession of number 1 in Arizona, and I thought the defense truly set the tone here tonight.
Yeah, they did. Our defense is always, well, I think they're number 1 in the state for sure. I got my boy Cade. He's always leading it. I always count on him to get the job done. Wouldn't rather go against anyone else without him. Yeah, I trust 100% in our defense, and it really helps on the offensive side knowing that they're there.
Ryan, you truly are one of the more dynamic players in the state of Arizona, and I think one of the things you really bring to the field is that your energy is contagious amongst your teammates.
I mean, I hope so. I like to try to be as hyped up as I can. It gets a good vibe going for the team, and pretty much my way of thinking about it is the team with the most motivation and the most getting up is the one that's going to end up on top in the end.
This question's for Cade, and I would imagine this game here really, you know, it was a statement game by Desert Vista, beating Brophy the way you did here going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think we did. I think it sends a message that we're coming to play this year. A lot of people thought we weren't going to be where we are just because of how many seniors we lost last year. I think it does send a message, but the most important thing is what's coming on in the next couple weeks. In these next couple games, you know, we play another one Monday, and that's what we're looking forward to now. You know, we're going to enjoy the night, but it's always about moving forward, and, you know, we're not done yet.
2 of the best, Cade Van Raphorst, Ryan Kukulis. Thank you very much, gentlemen. The Arizona Big Play of the Week is powered by Auto Glass Perfection.